Hello all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to take you through today's video. Now today we've got some lovely new products that we're going to share with you, and of course being a Sunday Showcase they're on some fantastic offers as well. Now if you're new to our videos, how this is going to work is I'm going to show you our new products for today and tell you all about our offers that we've got going on. Now the offers are only valid up until 5 PM on Saturday the 20th of January 2019, so please do get in quickly. After that date we should still have them in stock and can order them, but they will have returned back to full price, so get them while they're on offer. Now, every product we look at today, I'm going to give you a code. If you wish to order the products we're talking about via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, over the phone to our stores, or of course via text message, then if you could refer to that code, then we'll know the items you're on about, so there's no confusion. If you're ordering on our website, then you don't need the codes. Everything is pictured individually, and you can just click and order all of the pictures that you would like to receive. Now, I know a lot of you asked this question. We do actually ship worldwide, and we'll discuss our postage a little later on in today's video. But if you are watching us from around the world, we literally can post any of the items we're going to be looking at today anywhere in the world, but we'll come back to that a little later on. So with no further ado, let's jump in and have a little look at today's products, because I think you're really going to like these. We're going to start off with our first product today, which is our Birthday Verses clear stamps. Now these are standard clear stamps. They just literally peel off the sheet. You can use them with any sort of ink mediums you want to and create timeless and effortless impressions time and time again. So the first one we're looking at is code S1. It's your Birthday Verses stamp. It should be $5.99, but it's reduced to just $4.99. Now, of course, on this one, what have we got? We've got wishing you a very happy birthday, wishing you every happiness on your birthday, a really lovely scrolly happy birthday over to the side here, a more party style happy birthday and a couple of stars, and then one of my favourites, this really nice sort of scroll happy birthday up the top here. Now these are stamps you want to use time and time again, aren't they? They're just going to come in so handy. So that of course is our first one. That's your Birthday Verses, only $4.99 this week. Moving on, we have our background stamp. Now this one is called Dots Galore. Its code is S2. Again, it should be $5.99, but it's reduced to just $4.99. And I actually think this is my favourite. I really love this one. I think it's just lovely to stamp over a piece of plain card or pearl card maybe, possibly even heat emboss it or stamp in multiple colours, and then die cut out loads of flowers or shapes and have a really nice polka dot effect with them. Just so many options and ways you could use this to create backgrounds and different techniques. I think that was really going to be a popular one. So that is S2, your Dots Galore stamp. Moving on, we have S3. Now this is your Flourish Swirls, and these are really lovely. Again, I'm quite in love with this set. I have a bit of a thing for corner stamps. I think they're a really sort of underestimated stamp. I just think you can use them on the outside of your cards, you can use them on your scrapbook pages, you can use them to jazz up your inserts. There's just so much you can do with these, and I really like the way that you've got such different styles of corners. Each one really does have its own purpose or requirement. I also like the way with these ones that they go in quite nicely with the text as well. So again, if you are looking at them scrolly text in your Birthday Verses, that's going to be really nice to match in with it. Your Flourish Swirls, of course, should be $5.99, but it's only $4.99, and that one is S3. Moving on to your next stamp, we have your Fuchsia. And this one's beautiful. I love this one. It did temporarily come in stock about a year ago and hit the shelves for about 2 days. Sold out ever so quickly. And we've been waiting all this time to get it back in stock. And I think it's well worth it because it's a really lovely stamp. The good bit with it is it's quite a large stamp. So it really is quite a sort of out there, large and sort of in charge stamp. It's not something that's just going to fall into the background. You also get a few text bits on this one as well. And I always urge you to really look at the text bits because some of them can be really quite vital. For instance, on this one, you've got a handmade by stamp. Everyone loves having handmade by stamps, especially if you're selling your cards. To be able to mark the back of it and sign your name to it, it's really great. And they can be really hard to get hold of, handmade by stamps. So this might actually be worth buying that set just for that alone, depending on how in need you are of that one. You've also got, especially for you, hello and birthday wishes. Now, you're going to see a few of these little text bits. I actually really love them. I actually had a dragon stamp about 2 years ago, and I only bought the dragon stamp simply because it had a happy birthday like that in it. and I think it's the most used stamp I've ever had, because I often find I make my cards quite heavy and full on and then have no room for a sentiment. So a small little sentiment like that really says everything you need it to and can be fitted into the smallest areas. So again, I'd probably buy that set just for that, even if I didn't like the fuchsia, if it was me. That's S4, your fuchsia set. Again, should be £5.99, reduced to just £4.99. Moving on, we have S5. Now, this is your owls set. Now, these are really beautiful, aren't they? I love the one in flight. I just think he's really stunning. And again, with this set, even if you don't like owls, I'd really urge you to buy this one just for this little sort of foliagey sort of firm part here. And you're going to get to see that on lots of my cards today. Several that aren't even using the owls. But again, that comes into its own. That's if you don't want the owls. And to be honest, who wouldn't want the owls? Because they're beautiful. On top of that, you've also got some nice owl theme sentiments too. So you've got "You're a Hoot," and I'm really bad at reading upside down, but I'll give this one a go. "I'll be thinking of you," and "Happy birthday to you." So they're good, aren't they? Again, even if you've got an owl die cut maybe, or an owl decoupage sheet, or an owl anything else, you may just want the sentiments to go in and go with that. You don't have to have them for your stamps, of course. Oh, and in here, I missed this one, you've got "You're a Hoot" as well. So that goes in quite well, doesn't it? Again, so that's your owl set. That is S5, and of course is reduced to £4.99 like all the others. Moving on, we have, this is the first time I think I've ever seen these, by the way. We have a hedgehog set of stamps. This is S6. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't got to use these as much as I wanted to today, because I think they're super, super cute. But I only got to make one card with them, which I'm a bit gutted about, because I think you'd really like to see more from this set. I love the way he's sort of scrunched up into a little ball in this one. And then, of course, you've got him with some flowers on that one. Again, you've also got a nice cheeky little dragonfly hiding away at the top here, and a little bunch of flowers. And again, we've got a couple of little versy bits. This "Happy Birthday" is virtually identical to the one in the dragon set I was on about a little while ago, but just a different font. So again, really, really good having that hidden there. Again, really good to have. Under that one, you've got "You're looking sharp today." And over here, we've got "Sending you hedgehogs," which I think is great. So that is your hedgehog set of stamp. It's S6 for your code and is reduced to just £4.99. Moving on, we have S7. Now, this is your cat set of stamps. Now, this time we have two beautiful cats. We've obviously got a little sitting cat, and we've got a little proud sitting cat as well. And I am a bit of a cat lover, so I'm quite in love with this set of stamp, and it really does make me think of my cat Sherlock in quite a fond way. So I like this one too. We've also got a little mouse, and we've got a little ball of yarn. We've also got a little paw print, and again, that's something people are always looking for, is little paw print stamps. So a nice little hidden away one on this set that you might quite appreciate. You've also got "Furry Friend" wrote down the side here as one of your sentiments. You've got "Purr," "I love meow," OCD stands for obsessive cat disorder. And what's this one? "Home is where the cat hair sticks to everything but the cat." Now that is actually very true of my cat too. So very true sentiments. So that one is S7, your cat set. It should be £5.99 as all of the others, but it's reduced to just £4.99. Moving on, don't think we've left you out, dog lovers. So you're actually going to get spoilt this week. We have two dog sets to tempt you with. Our first one being S8, which is the Woof Dogs, simply because it has the little word "woof" in it. That's how we've come up with that name for it. As you can see, you're getting two picture dogs. You've got a little slipper. You've got a little bone as well, which would be really good for making up big backgrounds with if you wanted to. You've also got a couple of other little words going on down here. So you've got "Sorry you had a rough day," "Have a pawsome day," and "Love is a four-legged word." Again, really good and quite cute little sentiments too. And that one, of course, is S8, your Woof Dogs. And should be £5.99, but it's reduced to just £4.99. Then on to our last set. This one is S9. This one is Paw Dogs. Again, should be £5.99, but it's reduced to just £4.99. And this one's called Paw Dogs. You've probably guessed it, because this one gives you the little dog paw print in it. So if you've seen the cat one, you can also have the dog one. You can make up some really nice backings with this. We've also got a little lead in this one, as well as your two little dogs. And then we've got a couple of verses in this one too. And this one reads, "If you want the best seat in the house, you have to move the dog." And then this one says, "Dogs leave paw prints on your heart and just for you," which is great, aren't they? I love them. So they're all of your individual stamps. You can of course buy them individually, as we have been looking at them. They're all, as you've guessed or rambled on about, been reduced from $5.99 to $4.99 on this week's offer. But you could save even more by buying a mega bundle. So your mega bundle will actually give you all 9 of the sheets we've just been having a little look at. The retail price for this is £53.91, but you can save even more than buying them individually and buy them on our mega bundle price for just £40. So that will give you literally all 9 sheets, which is going to give you hours upon hours of fun. I've literally had about the last 24 hours to play with these, and I've only just about sort of touched the tip of the iceberg on what you could do with them. There's just so many options and combinations and things you could do. I love the way that, like that little branch we're going to talk a bit about more later, there's so many little hidden bits in these that you've really got hours upon hours of fun. And they're going to fit in with all of the different types of stamps you've already got as well. So it's not just that you've got to use them on their own. Okay, also today, before we move on up the table, I'm going to show you a few bits I'm going to be using quite a few times in my cards. So if you'd like these, you can also order these as well. So for instance, this week we have an embossing folder of all over paw prints. You're going to get to see this on a couple of the cards, so don't worry that it's quite hard to show you. Clear plastic really doesn't show up too well on a video. But if you do wish to order this one, your code for this is E10 and your embossing folder is just $5.99. You're also going to see this daisy die cut used quite a few times. Now, I've only used the flower head from it this week, but it does also give you 4 different sets of leaves and a little part to pop in the centre as well. You may recognise this from a showcase a little while back. The good news is if you didn't cash in and get it then, we've honoured the price once again. So for this set, it should be $8.99, but it's reduced to half price. It's only £4.49. If you'd like the code for that one is D11. So if you do want to get that one, it's lovely actually, a really, really lovely die set. I love the little flower from that, and the leaves can make up some beautiful wreaths and bits. So a really good die set to get hold of. Moving on to our next one, we have our lattice oval. Now again, this is one that's featured on a showcase previously, so you might recognise it, but it is going to be used on today's showcase cards. It's a really good set because it actually cuts out all the way around it. There is a blade that goes all the way around out here. There isn't a blade on the inside, so if you do wish to cut it out and have it just as a really nice swirly edged floral panel, you can do. Or you can use this part, which again doesn't have a blade around the edge of it, and actually cut the lattice into the middle of it. So it will cut out with that lattice part actually attached and on the inside of the oval, which is really pretty. It also comes with a matching back plate, so if you wish to cut a panel and pop under it in a different colour, you can do, and that will show obviously through all the delicate work, including the lattice part if you wish to. Your code for that set is Die12, it's your lattice oval and it's $14.99. Moving on, another thing you're going to get to see featured on today's showcase is our MDF Scotty Dog. Now, we actually do loads of MDF shapes in store and online, but as you can see, he's quite a big Scotty Dog and he's only 80p. His code for him is M13, but as a bit of a giveaway, I can tell you you're going to get one of them in your essentials pack as well. But if you do want more, that's a good way to get them. Then on to our next product. Now this is another set of stamps. Now this one sadly isn't obviously included in the stamp offer or your bundles that we're going to be looking at today, but it is a set of stamps that I've snuck in on a couple of my cards, just simply for the little flower bits, because these are really, really lovely, and they do make up some really great little floral displays, and you can shape them quite nicely. And dare I say it, they look a bit like Heartfelt Creation stamps, but just a lot cheaper. But don't tell them we said that, and they are really lovely, but you'll get to see them shortly. If you do wish to order that set, it is S14 and it is full price at $5.99, but you do get a lot for your $5.99. And again, you've got some nice little text bits in circles down here as well, so lots you can do with that one, but I'll get to show you some more of them shortly. Moving on to your next product today, we have our waterfalls. Now these are your waterfall mechanisms. So they're only 99p, they're die cut and you get 3 in a packet, and they are the bit you need to make your waterfall cards. If you wish to order them, the code is W15. Now, I don't know if you've come across it before. If you haven't, there is a link in the description to today's video. but we have a homework group on Facebook where every week we set a different project with a little design brief, and usually there are products that we like you to try and incorporate in your designs. These are actually part of this week's homework. So if you've already got them or if you're planning on buying them, you might wish to take part in this week's homework challenge. So do have a look in the description to this video and you can see the link to go on and have a little look. And even if you don't want to take part in the homework, towards the end of the week you'll get to see all of the other people who they've taken part and all of their creations that they've made. So you might get to see a few different waterfalls and bits that might inspire you. So have a little look on there. Even if you don't want to take part, it's a good way of getting some ideas. Moving on to your next product today, another thing that we're going to sneak in a few times is some really nice sparkle gems. Now these are like a multifaceted gem. I don't know how well they're going to show up, but they really are incredibly pretty and they're just the perfect bling, the most beautiful bling. These are already sticky back, so you can literally just peel them off and stick them on. They're £1.29 a packet. That size to order them is code G16, the one we was just showing you, but they also come in 3 other sizes, again available in store and online. We have bigger circles, we also have small hearts and large hearts. I won't give you codes for all of them. The code is just for the first ones. We show you the small ones, which is G16. But if you do want the others, you can ask for them in the comments, and again you can find them online and in store. So they're all of the little add-on bits that we're going to be looking at today as well on your cards. But of course, if you're a regular to our videos, you know that we like to bring you essential packs. Now, if you're new to the videos, basically our essential pack is all of the bits of paper and ribbons and embellishments that I've used to create my cards. We put them together in one pack and we take up to 1/3 off of the recommended retail price for you. So it's a good way for you to cash in and get a little bit of a saving. And if you do like the look of what I've created, it will certainly put you on the right track to recreating these things if you wish to. So this week's essential pack should be £25.94, but it's only £16.99. Now I know that's a lot, but there's so much in this week. I think you're really going to appreciate it, and it's been weeks since we've had an essentials pack, so it's a good time to jump in and get one while we've got them. So let's have a little look. Let's start from the beginning and chat you through everything that you're going to get in this one. So to begin with, you are going to get our large aperture cards. Now these are your 3-fold cards. Now I haven't made any dome cards this week, but most weeks I make dome cards. These are the card blanks you need to make them out of. Actually, I have made a dome card, so we will chat about them a little later on, but not out of this size. But they're great for making dome cards. They're great for making the stand-up cards, or of course you can just seal them and use them as an ordinary card blank if you want to. You're going to get 1 cream one of these in a waffle texture. You're going to get a white one that's smooth, and you're going to get a white waffle one as well. So you're actually going to get 3 of those, and they're just great fun. And especially when we look at the stamps in a little while, and I can show you how you can use that little vine to stamp around them. I think that's going to be something you're really going to want. We also have a smooth A5 white oval one, again 3-fold, and this is actually the one I've made the dome out of, so I'll get to show you how they look turned into dome shortly. And there'll be one of them. You'll also get the envelopes for these, but they're at the other end of the table, so we'll chat about them when we get up there. You're also going to get our MDF Scotty Dog that we were looking at a little moment ago that you can buy individually. You're also going to receive 5 sheets of our ribbed dark champagne pearl cardstock. Now this is really nice because it's just got a bit of a texture to it, and it really is a luxury card, especially when you use it to make boxes. It really does look lovely. You're also going to get 5 sheets of our brushed gold pearl cardstock. Again, this is double-sided, so really nice for making your boxes or your cards out of, and it's a good weight to do that with as well. You're also going to get 2 packets of gems. The first one is the one we were looking at a little while ago, all them really nice multifaceted sparkle ones in the silver. And then we're also going to give you a packet of these. Now these are completely different. They're a separate gem once again, but they're actually more like a dome filled full of lilac glitter. And we do these in a couple of different sizes and loads of different colours. Again, they should be available on the website and in store, but they're just really, really pretty, and you're going to get a packet of them in here as well. We're also going to give you 5 sheets of our value card. Now this is a 300 GSM card, so it's a really thick card. Great for stamping on. You can also die cut out of it. You can make boxes out of it. We do it in big packs, but we've just give you 5 sheets. So if you haven't had it before, this will be a really good way for you to give it a try and see what you think of it. But it's a really lovely card. You're also going to get a metre of sheer ribbon, which is just great for making little bows and bits. You're going to get to see that dangled about on a couple of my cards shortly. And then we're also going to give you some 12 by 12s, or some paper. They're single-sided. You've got a nice light coloured line. You've got a lilac-y coloured line. You've also got a red tartan. Gingham? Tartan? Go with tartan. We'll also have a brown one in there for you as well. A grey one. And a green one, so lots going on there, but I think they work really well with the animals. And if you're not completely sick of Christmas yet, always look nice for Christmas too, but you're going to get a sheet of each of them in there too. And then we're also going to give you 10 sheets of our oyster pearl cardstock. Now again, this is a double-sided card. It's a really good weight. It's perfect for making boxes out of, again, or your card blanks. Again, really good for die cutting and colouring as well. And you're going to get 10 sheets of that. You've also got 3 sheets of our standard coloured cardstock in a light brown. You're also going to get a dark brown as well. You've also got a sheet of mint green pearl cardstock, as well as a metre of tartan ribbon, gingham ribbon. I'm not very good with ginghams and tartans. I do get confused, I apologise. And you've also got a metre of our nice brown ribbon as well. On top of that, so much in this kit, I apologise, but there is. On top of that, you've also got a packet of the waterfalls as well. So if you do like what we do with them, or you want to take part in the homework, then you will get one of them in there as well. And then on top of that, we've also got 10 sheets of our wedding ivory pearl paper, which is really good when, especially when we look at the flowers and the owls, to stamp on and cut out and actually give a bit of a shape to, but yet be quite lightweight. It really is a nice texture and thickness to do that with. On top of that, you're also going to get 3 butterfly cards. So these are already pre-cut for you, already scored, and a really nice just little card blank for you to decorate. You're going to get a lemon yellow, a pink and a white. And of course, you're going to get all of your envelopes for these and the cards we looked at the beginning of your essentials pack. And that concludes everything that you're going to get in your essentials pack, which once again, just in case you forgot, is worth £25.94p, but is yours for just £16.99. Now, I know a lot of you have been warned of this previously and know it, and a lot of you have sadly missed out on them. Do get in quickly if you like the look of the essentials pack. This is something that we normally sell out of on launch day. So if you are watching it later, they may already be gone because they do go incredibly quickly. Always worth checking with us. Sometimes they don't go quite as quick, but this one I think will do. It's been weeks since we've had one, and the value in this one is superb. So do get in while we've got them. Then of course we have your super mega bundle. Now, no more savings on this set, I'm afraid, but it's a really good way for you to click and buy everything in one go. You don't have to faff with lots of codes or lots of products. You could just click and buy the whole lot and get it all in one little packet. So this will give you your complete essentials pack. All of them bits we were just chatting through, we've condensed them down, but trust me, everything is in there. And you will also get all 9 of the stamps as well. The complete recommended retail price for this collection is £79.85p, and in total your offer price for this set is £56.99. But that will literally give you all of the stamps that we're going to be looking at today, other than that one set that isn't included of your flowers, and it will give you all of the essentials pack that of course we just had a little look through. And if you'd like that one, the code for that one is Super Mega Bundle, or of course you can find it under the Super Mega Bundle title on our website if that's easier for you. Now then, let's show you what I've been creating with this lot to hopefully show you what bits you do and don't need. But I warn you now, I think I might brainwash you into needing all of it because it's a very lovely collection to be playing with. So we'll start off with our first card. Now this is using our little dog stamps, which I think are really, really cute. We also have our birthday stamp on this one. So let's give this a little pull. Obviously you're seeing the ribbon here, which is in your essentials pack. In the background, we've of course got that embossing folder that we were looking at, which is your paw prints embossing folder E10. And this time, by the way, I've just embossed it, and then I've gone over the top with a brayer and some brown ink to just pick up the actual paw print bits. And then when we pull our little waterfall bit, which isn't as easy to do up in the air, you will see that our little pages flip over and our little pages create a little flick effect. I've also stamped on my mechanism bit using some of the stamps that are the dog stamps as well. This verse I think is really lovely while we're on this page, before I flick off of it and forget to talk about it. This of course is out of the birthday verses stamp, but I think in black it just looks really crisp. You're going to get to see it heat embossed in gold shortly, but I think that's just a really lovely stamp and one that I think you're going to love having. Obviously on this one we've got the woof bits and we've got one of our little dogs. And then if we keep going, you've got more woofs, the little lead, another one of our little pictures of our dogs. And the bit I liked about these, and the bit I enjoyed with it, is you can do them in any colours. You can be as detailed or as blocky as you want to. You could give them little spots, anything you want to, really. We've also got one of our little dog verses on this one too. And then we're back to the beginning of our little booklet. Now, of course, the dog stamps, if you do like the look of them, we've yo-yoed about between both sets on this card. But it's stamp 8, which is S8, your woof dogs, and stamp 9, which is S9, which is poor dogs. Obviously your waterfalls, if you do wish to just buy the mechanisms, don't forget that's W15 if you like to have a go with those. And then the rest is just done with just stress inks, and that's it. So just a stress inks and plain card. The plain card, of course, again is in your essentials pack. Moving on to our next little card. Now this one's a little cutie. This is using one of our little butterfly cards that of course you're going to get in your essentials pack. I've actually stamped over this one using stamp number 2, which is the dot stamp. I really like the effect of taking quite big shapes and stamping over them and heat embossing them. So this time I've heat embossed it in gold, but of course that stamp might lend itself to do that with a lot of your dies as well, especially if you've got big bulky dies. It could really give you a nice effect. I also really wanted to do it with some poinsettia flowers, but decided you might think I was a bit balmy doing that in the beginning of January. But that could look really lovely, especially if you used to heat emboss them in maybe like a tinsel or just stamp them in a different colour maybe, I don't know. But I think we're going to have to come back to that closer to Christmas, which in our world tends to be about March. Which I know is a bit insane, but you're probably the same. I know lots of you have been in this week looking for Christmas bits and bobs and stocking up, so I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking about it. You've also got the flowers, which of course is a set of stamps which isn't on offer. That is S14, your flower stamps. They may not be on offer, but I do think they're worth every penny because they're just really, really beautiful. They've been stamped out onto that pearl paper, which of course is in your essentials pack, but we do sell it separately as well. And again, that's available online or in store, but it just really shapes nicely. I've also added in a couple of die cut little twiddle bits. And then if we open up our butterfly, on the inside, we've got our happy birthday with star stamp, which is out of the birthday verses, which is S1, your first stamp set that we looked at. So that's quite a nice one as well. Then moving on, let's have a little look at card number 3. So on this one, we have our little Scotty dog. And again, this time, bearing in mind he started off as plain MDF, I've painted him using some just ordinary white acrylic. And then I've stamped over using the dot stamp again, which is still number 2. And I've heat embossed him in gold again. I think that looked quite good. I quite liked that. I was quite chuffed with this. Very simple card for me. I tend to be a lot more OTT, but very clean and crisp in my world for me. Quite basic, very easy to do. But fun to play about with, and really loved that stamp once again. And then of course we've got our little wording, our little saying bit down here, which is off of S8, your woof dog stamp, if you like, just like that. As I said earlier, you don't have to use the pictures. I'm sure you've got lots of other doggy bits that you could use the verses with just as well. Of course, if you do like the dog, don't forget you will get one of them in your essentials pack, but you can buy them individually, and they are just 80p if you do wish for those too. And then moving on to our next one. So this one's got lots on it. This one's sort of got everything, including the kitchen sink on this one. So on the front of the card, we have got stamp number 2, which is the dots one, actually used on top of the flowers. Now, all I did is took a piece of paper, I stamped the dots over it several times, heat embossed them all in gold, because I'm on a bit of a gold embossing kick today, and then used a paper punch or a couple of paper punches to actually punch out my different size daisies. I find punching can be a bit quicker sometimes than die cutting, and I do quite like a punch. So they're all done with punches, but equally you could die cut them if you prefer. Moving on, stamp number 3 is our flourish swirls, which you can see is hidden around the back here, just underneath our flowers. But I think that's really nice to actually have something, give it a bit of height and a bit of balance across the base of the card. And really nice because you can stick in any flowers in that area, but it would really accentuate the design up a bit. And I really like that big flourish, to be honest. I'm a bit biased. I do like flourishes. But that, of course, is stamp number 3, your flourish swirls. In the middle of our die cut, we have one of our owls, which of course is stamp set number 5. And then of course the actual die cut itself is the lattice oval, which is course is D12. As I said to you earlier, you do get the backing plate, you do get the nice edge a bit, and you've got that lattice part in the middle too, so it's all good. You're going to get that whole set and can recreate that if you wish to. The little stamp down here, of course, the You're a Hoot, also comes in, of course, with the owl stamp, which was number 5. And then if we turn to the inside of the card, you can see that we've got the other owl from our owl set. Again, this time stamped and cut out of our really lovely pearl paper, just because you could shape that and it will actually maintain it quite nicely. And it's picked up really well on the detail of that too. And then we have our big verse stamp, that one that we was looking at a little while ago, stamped in black, but this time heat embossed in gold, is in the middle here, which of course is stamp set number 1. And then the corners, I do love these corners. They come in with that flourish set, and the flourish set, of course, is set number 3. And I just think these corners are really nice, and they layer really well as well. So if you do want to sort of nest your designs up, they look really good for that too. And don't forget, you actually get 3 different corners in that set, and that's just one of them. So if you do like the idea of corners, really good set to get hold of. Moving on to our next card. So this is one of our dome cards, and this is using the A5 card like you're going to be getting in the Essentials pack. If you don't know how to make dome cards, we actually have a video showing you how to do that, and there is a link to go and watch that video in the description to this video. So if you haven't seen that before, do pop off and have a little look at it, but it's really easy to do. It's not at all taxing. Actually, for this card, we have the owl stamp, which is obviously used for our middle owl and our little sideways owl here. I do love them. I think they're so cute. And of course, on that set, you've also got that little flourish bit that we spoke about. Let me see if I can show you one, because it's sort of so small and insignificant, but I absolutely love it. This little bit here is just amazing. And I'm going to rant about this one, so I apologise. But it's just so good because it's got a bit of a kink to it. If you want to use it to stamp round circles or ovals, you can do. Or if you wish to use it to stamp round squares and rectangles, you can do too. It's just got just enough of a twist to it that you can go off on a tangent round a shape, or you can sort of straighten it up and use it for an edge. So this got a bit OTT, this card, but I quite like the idea, and I wanted to show you how you could use it. So I've used it all the way around the outside of my card as a border. I've also used it all the way around the oval, obviously as a border to the actual cutout. I've added in little flowers to this as well using my die 11. So that's that daisy die, which is reduced to just $4.99. I told you I just used the heads for this. And I've distressed them in one colour, and then I've just touched against them in the edge to give them a bit more colour to the tips of them. I've added in them little crystals that you can buy individually, which is your code G16, or of course they're the same ones you're going to get in the Essentials pack, actually into the middles of them. But I thought that was quite a nice idea, and something you could turn into all different sorts of borders and frames if you like the idea of it with that little stamp, because I just think that's really lovely. And then in the background, I've distressed a panel and I've stamped lots of stamps using the Flourish set. So that's your Flourish Swirl set number 3. You can't really see the full beauty of it because it's hid a lot by the front of the card, but there really is some lovely swirl work and bits going on in there. If we have a little look on the inside, you can see more of that work done on here. But I actually think I got the one in the front better than the one on the inside. But I just quite like stamping in black over distressed backgrounds. And I think they're going really well with the fairy collection as well. So if you've got any fairy dies or peel-offs or stamps or anything else to do with fairies, I think these flourishy bits could go in really well with them too. You're also seeing another one of the corners from that set in the middle here, so don't forget you're going to get this one on the outside and you get one of those, and there's also a third one in there too, and I just think they're so lovely, so really ornate and pretty. Your happy birthday bit in the middle is actually one of the smallest happy birthdays that comes on your birthday verses set, which is stamp set number 1. Moving on to our next one. So, let's have a look at this one. Oh, this is our lovely hedgehogs. I told you I only got to do one card with these, and I do apologise for that, because I just think they're both so cute, and you're only getting to see one of them. But I think you're really going to love having them if you do get them, because they're just so cute and fun. Of course, your hedgehog set is stamp number 6. Of course, like all of the others, it's reduced to just $4.99. In your hedgehog set, you get the hedgehog, you get the little set of flowers. I've also got the dragonfly out of that set as well, and all of these little flower heads are actually off of that set there, so I've just stamped lots of our little bouquet and cut off the heads instead, and layered them going across my archway. The archway, of course, I know I'm going on about it again, I do apologise, is of course that little fern part from, or little flourish part, sorry, from in with the owl set of stamps. But it made quite a nice arch, quite like that. And then your happy birthday off of this one is also in with the hedgehogs, if I remember rightly. No, I'm lying to you. I've lost where my happy birthday comes from, but we will return to that. I will tell you before I let you go, but it's here somewhere. And of course, you've got more of the papers and the ribbons from in your essentials pack. Moving on, shall we? Let me just retrieve this one because it's jumped. This time we are going to be looking at the fuchsia one, which is the first time I think I've got to show you the fuchsia stamp, isn't it? But it's a really lovely stamp, that one. And as I said to you earlier, it's quite a nice size, which is quite nice to work with. This one, again, ended up a bit heavier than I'd possibly intended. I had a really bad day, actually, if I'm being honest with you. Had a really bad day. I only have one day to do all my prepping. And that was today, which is Saturday in my world, but Sunday in your world, so apologies. But I've been working, doing all my cards. And you have them days when just everything in the world goes wrong. I like my card, for instance. I'd made 90% of it easily. I turned it over, so I stuck the bit in the middle, turned it back, and I'd got a bit of glue on my desk. And I ripped a giant part off of here. So hence we have flowers and butterflies. You know they say stick a butterfly on it to cover it up? Well, I think the butterfly would have had to have been about 10 inches wide to cover the rip. So instead we have flowers. So hence this card ended up a bit heavier than planned because I just had to keep hiding bits. I ended up with a fingerprint up here somewhere, which is why we ended up with these flowers. But I think it works. I quite like it. It reminds me a bit of the Heartfelt Creation cards because it's a bit heavier and a bit more OTT than even I like. But yeah, just the whole day, virtually every card I've made, I seem to have to do everything on it about 3 times. I think tonight I'm actually going to have to drive home and then turn around and come back and do it again, just simply because that's the way my day's been going. But it's good, because we all have days like that, and it's certainly not down to the products, it's just me, I think. It's just one of them typical days. But I'm trying to remember, is today the 13th? I think actually in my world today is the 13th. So yeah, I think that's what's going on, and I think it's definitely cursed me. But anyway, enough of me whinging, back to where we should be. So on this one, we have obviously the corners, which is stamp number 3. And I've actually coloured them in this time. We have the foliage part, again, out of my owl set, going all the way around the circle. What else have we got? We've got the fuchsia stamp, of course, our big focal point, which is S4 for the fuchsias. And then we've got the happy birthday bit, which again is off of stamp set number 1, your birthday verses. And then lastly, we've got our little flowers. Now, these are actually stamped onto tracing paper. I have a bit of a thing about stamping on tracing paper because it's a bit like parchment, but a lot cheaper. So don't waste your money, or in my world, I don't waste my money on parchment. I just buy tracing paper instead because it's much cheaper and gives you much the same effect. And I've just cut them out, obviously, and shaped them just as you would if they were on parchment. But tracing paper tends to be a bit thinner, which I actually quite like because it's not quite so cloudy, and it doesn't tend to go as white when you shape them, so you really don't end up with such a solid colour. It is much more transparent. And then I've added little gems into the middles of my flowers. Of course, them gems are the ones that you're going to get in the Essentials pack as well. And then that concludes that card, so let's move on and have a look at our next one. Now, this one is one in progress, but I wanted to show it to you anyway, because it's very similar to the one we just looked at. See, this is a perfect example. You know, I told you everything went wrong? That's another fingerprint. I know, we'd have to cover that one up as well, so it could end up as heavy as the last card. But really, I just wanted to show you how you could stamp your bit around the circle, because I did that on the last one we showed you, but I think I added so many bits, it sort of lost the beauty of showing you how well that could stamp just round a circle if you wanted it to. And I also want to show you that you don't have to have green leaves. So this time I've gone for a bit of green and a bit of purple and a bit of brown to sort of have a bit more of an autumnal sort of fairy-ish style leaf. And then in my corners, I've used another one of the corner stamps. I think you've hopefully got to see all 3 of them by now, but if not, you're sure you will do by the end of it. But another one of the set of corners from S3, your Flourish Swirl stamp set. Now, I know this one's a bit boring, but I just quite like the circle bit, so I have to show you that. And also, as well, something I will confess, because I'm quite a messy worker, I'd left the base panel underneath the card and stamped over the top of it. Now, I certainly weren't aiming to stamp my bit in the middle there, but it's actually quite pretty. I know, again, as I didn't aim to do it, so I didn't do all of it, but it's quite a nice way of actually making a focal point on a bigger card, and then you could stick something in the middle of that instead if you wanted to. Maybe some pearls around the edge of it. So you don't have to use the positive all the time, you might want to use the negative. So that's a different way of doing it. Anyway, moving on to our next one. So this time we have got more of our dog collection. So again, we've got both sets of the dogs. We have got S8, which is the woof dogs, and S9, which is the paw dogs. And we've got a little bit of all of them. And I've done a bit of hidden stamping where sort of I've layered bits behind each one of them as well. But you don't have to do that, but it looks quite nice if they do sort of appear behind each other. And again, I've gone for all different colours to paint them in. And I've added on a bit of cardstock again that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack. Bit of the ribbon from in there as well. And then if we open the card up, we have again another fingerprint. I shouldn't keep pointing these out to you, but I'm telling you, honestly, terrible day. So we'll just sort of hold that closed a bit. And then we have a happy birthday stamp, which again is from stamp set number 1, and the paw print down the edge here, which of course is from the paw dog set of stamps, which is number 9. But again, I think that'd be quite cool to make that up into like a proper border or frame maybe. There's nothing wrong with building that up into being more of a thing than just a little corner element. But yeah, quite like that one. And then I wanted to show you this, again, something that didn't quite get finished. This one doesn't have a fingerprint on it as yet. But this one's using the dog and cat stamp, and again doing a bit of shadow stamping to create that sort of one in front, one behind effect. But why not use them together? If you've got somebody who's got a cat and a dog, why not intermingle? But you don't have to keep them all cats or all dogs. On to our next one. So this one, again, is using the fuchsia stamp, which is really where this one all started. I really do love that fuchsia. I think it's really beautiful. I'm not really a big flower person, but I think these are lovely. The fuchsia, of course, is stamp number 4. I've actually cut and layered this. And because it's quite big, it's quite easy to shape as well. So I don't know how well you're going to pick up on this, but my leaves are actually quite domed, and so are my petals. So if you do want to shape it, you really can get some nice dimension and texture into that set if you want to. Round the edge of my panel, again this time, just to confuse the matter, I told you you could stamp round a square, I told you you could stamp round a circle. Why not make up your own oval? Doesn't have to be round the edge. So I've sort of cut off the corners and made my own sort of setup this time, obviously using that same foliage bit from the owl set. I did warn you, I'm quite addicted to that, aren't I? I've used that everywhere. But yeah, again, just painted in the leaves. And then down the front here, we have got one of our verses out of our birthday verses set, which is S1. And then in the corners, hidden away, is actually one of the corner stamps. Again, you don't have to use the full stamp. I really just wanted to bring in the darkness from the edges just slightly and marry in the black a bit more. So I didn't go full on in, just enough to sort of give it a bit more effect. And then behind that one, on our back panel, we of course have the really pretty corner, which again is out of the Flourish Swirl set. And actually just painted in just odd bits of green on there for the leaves. And that's that, really. That's that whole card done. Quite quick and easy. And then we can move on to our last one today, which is another one of our cat collection. So this time I wanted to show you how you could use that embossing folder for both cats and dogs, because it's sort of a bit of each, and no reason you couldn't get away with both of them. So I've done it on cream card. I've actually distressed over the top of it using tea dye. I've then rubbed a brown ink pad, a rich cocoa ink pad, over the top of it, actually taking the pad and rubbing it over so it picks up all the detail of the embossing bit. And then I've gone back with another brown and actually painted in parts of the paw prints. So you end up with 3 colours on one embossing folder. So really built them up a bit. Don't have to, but it's a nice way to use them. Gives you a bit more dimension and also gives you the ability to match in more of the colours throughout the rest of your card. On here, obviously, I've layered my stamps again by just stamping one and then blocking it off and stamping the other one so it appears to be behind the first stamp that you've created. I've also added in a little yarn ball down the front there. We've got another one of the little verses off of our cat collection. And then in the background here on one of our 12 by 12 papers, I've actually stamped some of the flourishes just over the edges to match in the colours of the distressing and the paw print panel. And I've added the word purr, and I've just stuck that about a few times as well. And that completes that card, which actually brings me to the end of all of the cards I've got to share with you today. So hopefully you've enjoyed them. But before I let you go, we'll run through all of the products once more, just in case you're not too sure of which ones you would like. So let's start with number 1. First one is S1. It's Birthday Verses. It should be $5.99, but it's reduced to just $4.99. We then have the very essential Dots Galore, which is S2, which again is just $4.99 now on offer. And then we have S3, which is your Flourish Swirls, which again is just $4.99 on offer. Then S4, which is your Fuchsia set, which of course is just $4.99 as well. Then we have S5, which is your Owl set, again just $4.99 on offer. And then we have S6, your Hedgehog collection, which I do think is very, very cute. Again, $4.99. And then S7, which is the cat collection, once again reduced to just $4.99. Then we have S8, your Woof Dogs, which is $4.99. And then lastly, we have S9, which is your Paw Dogs, which again is reduced to just $4.99. Now don't forget, they do all go back up to full price as of 5 p.m. Saturday the 20th of January 2019. So do get in and get them while we've got them and while they're on offer. Same applies to your mega bundle. This will give you all 9 stamps. The recommended retail price for this set should be £53.91, but you can buy the whole collection for just £40. If you're still on the fence about the ball print embossing folder, let's remind you of that once more. That code is E10 and that one is just $5.99. We then have your Daisy die, which is D11, and that's just reduced to $4.49. We then have die 12, which is D12, your Lattice oval, which is $14.99. And then if you did like the Scotty dog on the card, why not go for one of these? That's M13 and they're just 80p each. The flower stamps, which aren't included in any of the bundles or on any of the offers, but are very lovely, is S14, and that is just $5.99 for that set. Your waterfall mechanisms is W15, and it's just 99p. And then we have your gems as well, which is G16, and they are just £1.29 for the original size, and then all of the others are available online and in store. Your Essentials pack is, of course, worth £25.94, but is yours for just $16.99 and gives you all of them goodies we were chatting about earlier. And then lastly, we have your Super Mega Bundle, which is actually worth £79.85, but is yours for just $56.99, and that will give you all of the Essential pack and all 9 stamps that we've been looking at. Of course, don't forget it's not including that flower stamp, so if you do want to add that on, you could add it on for just another $5.99, along with all of the other bits we had a little look at too. Now then, let's talk about how you can order these bits. As I mentioned earlier, using the codes that we've spoke about, you can order via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or any of our other social media platforms that you wish to. Just state in the code that we've been giving you. You can also call us at Craftmania in Great Yarmouth on 01493 843 666, or you can of course call our Beaches and Cream Click and Collect point in Station Square, Lowestoft, and they too can help you out as well if you wish to. You can also use our click and collect option on our website, and again you can click and collect from our Craftmania Great Yarmouth store and our Beaches and Cream Lowestoft store. So although our Lowestoft Craftmania store has closed down recently, there's no reason you can't click and collect and get all of your items to be collected from Beaches and Cream in Station Square. So hopefully that might help you. Talking of our website, you can order all of the items we've been having a look at today on our website. Now, if you live in the UK and you spend over £35, P&P is completely free. If you spend less than £35, then P&P is capped at £2.75. If you wish to order anywhere else in the world, literally anywhere at all, we will send these items anywhere you wish. Postage is capped at £10. If we manage to send it to you cheaper than that anywhere at all, then we will actually refund you the difference. If it costs more than £10 here at Craftmania, we actually pay that, so you don't have to worry about it. It will be a maximum £10 for any item sent anywhere in the world from anything that you order on our website. Hopefully that helps. Now, of course, all of the cards that we've had a look at today will be on our Pinterest page, so if you do wish to pop on there and pin them, you can do. It's certainly nice sometimes to go back and have a little look at these at a later date. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't already, please do click subscribe. We're slowly growing. We've hit just over 1,300 subscribers, but we have very high demands of where we would like to get. So if you haven't clicked subscribe, please do. And while you're on YouTube or Facebook, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and a share. The more you share our videos, the more people who watch them, the bigger and better offers and products we can bring to you on future Sunday Showcases. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comments what you think of today's products, and I will see you all next Sunday with our next Sunday showcase. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.